The heart of your teams, the heart of Michigan. Bally Sports Detroit, the heart of the fan.
Head west on I-96 from Detroit for nearly 200 miles, and you'll land smack dab in the center of the lakeside town of Muskegon, Michigan. You don't even have to travel a full mile from that spot to arrive at high school football heaven. This is historic Hackley Stadium, standing as a cathedral to prep football for more than 90 years. And tonight, it bears witness to more history as its hometown Muskegon Big Reds welcome from across the state the technicians from Detroit Cast Tech. It's a Football Fridays Clash of the Titans, and it's now on Bally Sports. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the West Side. Johnny Kane, joined alongside by my partner, TJ Lang, the Super Bowl champion. We are thrilled to bring you what we feel could be one of the best high school football games in the state of Michigan throughout the entire year. Two perennial powers, Cast Tech, against the all-time winningest program in the state, that being the Big Reds of Muskegon. TJ, what do you expect to see transpire tonight?
Well, like you said, Johnny, it should be one of the best games of the year. Two storied traditions. Best that you can, one of the best matchups you can ask for in the state of Michigan. Friday Night Lights. You look at the stat sheet, the paper, rosters. Cast Tech might have the advantage when it comes to size and experience. But Muskegon's got a whole lot of really good athletes on their side of the ball as well, starting with Miles Walton. Yeah, he starts with the quarterback right there. 4-year starter in the program, but his first year as the starting signal caller. What's the scouting report on number 8 here in the Cardinal Red? Oh, this kid can take it to the house anytime he touches the ball. Obviously, last week, nearly half of his carries went for touchdowns. They had a long one of 90-some-odd yards. He is just a threat. He is just a threat. No matter what he does, whether it's passing the ball, running the ball, he is the biggest threat that Muskegon has on the offensive side of the ball. He's a threat. I mean, he could take it to the house anytime he touches it. And on the other side, Lee Mumpfield, 6 passing touchdowns in that Week 1 win over Southfield A&T. How does Muskegon keep from that happening tonight? Well, I think they have to find a way to pressure somehow, whether it's 6-man pressure, 7-man pressure, because, look, Cast Tech's offensive line is big. They're experienced. Muskegon on the defensive side, they're a little bit younger, a little bit undersized. You have to find a way to pressure Lee Mumpfield, get him off his spot a little bit, because he is like a traditional pocket quarterback. He will go through his first, second, third reads and try to make a play. If you're Muskegon, you have to find a way to get in the backfield and pressure him, get him off his spot so he doesn't have time to make those reads. That's tough to do, because I know nobody appreciates offensive line play like you. You know, a decade in the NFL, 2-time Pro Bowler. You look at that Cast Tech offensive line, these guys look NFL ready. Yeah, they're big boys. It starts with Deion Walker out there, 51 at the left tackle spot. Jackson Pruitt, another big kid. They've got size all along the front of the line. And, hey, it's going to be tough for Muskegon to find a way to get past those guys. There's a reason why 3 of their players on Cast Tech have multiple Division I offers, because they're good in the run game. They're good in the pass game. They just do it all. If you're Muskegon, though, you have to try to find a way to switch it up, whether it's slant, angle the defensive line, try to blitz some safeties, some linebackers, get some pressure in the backfield. It's just going to be tough with the size that Cast Tech has. Well, what makes Friday so special, TJ, is the atmosphere under the lights. Tonight will be second to none. For more on that, let's bring in the third member of our broadcast team, Brooke Fletcher. Fletch.
Yeah, guys, when you think of Muskegon football, you think of tradition, the prestige program, and how crazy the environments get on Friday night. Obviously because of the passionate fans in the stands, but also how unique Hackley Stadium is. One of the unique attributes is that they don't have a track around the football field. And usually at stadiums, you see the track, and it's kind of used as a buffer between the fans and the players. But, hey, that's not the case here. The fans are literally right on top of the sidelines. So you can only imagine how loud it gets here during games and how challenging it can be if you're not used to playing in this type of environment. But hey, these are 2 of the most notable programs in the state of Michigan, and they thrive off of big stages like this.
For us, this is a great test. You're talking about playing a team with the most wins in the state of Michigan history. So this game is honestly is going to be exciting. It's a battle of East versus West. 2 teams that think they're 2 of the top programs in the country. And we're going to see which team is going to be prevail. It's going to be based on physicality. So the team that's most physical is going to win this game.
I want them to bring all the competition they got in. I want to see how my boys can hold up, because, you know, we don't got that many seniors, all senior offense. You know, our whole offensive line got underclassmen. So I believe them boys, you know, can hold up and stuff. We can hold our ground. We're not really scared of nobody. So in order for you to prove to us that you're better, you just got to show the scope board, you know. You got to prove to us that you won.
Miles, Walton, and the Big Reds are feeling confident going into this game, but hey, so is Cass Tech. At noon, they loaded the buses in Detroit. They traveled 3 hours west to right here to Muskegon. They had a late lunch and then went through walkthroughs at 4 p.m. Now, they are at a disadvantage because they are having a long travel day, but hey, I watched these guys warm up, and they did not look phased one bit. They are excited. I could feel the energy, and I know, Johnny and TJ, this is going to be a great game.
Thank you, Brooke. Folks, sit back, settle in. This is high school football at its finest, and it's all coming your way next here on Bally Sports.
Thomas Wilcher, the longtime and very successful Cass Tech coach, decided to move to join Coach Tucker's staff at Michigan State University. Coach Rushing gets the chance to take over Cass Tech.
We look at ourselves as a national program. We want exposure for our kids.
I'm excited. The guys excited. They respect the program just as well as us. We're going to compete and hopefully come out with a dub.
The whole town comes out for these games.
It represents hard work, represents blue collar, pours over into our football team. Our football team embraces that. We just try to live it day in and day out.
I think I got the best team in the state right here. The
whole stadium's going to be filled. Everybody going to be yelling. We're going to have the music, the Jumbotron going. We're going to be turned.
This is Cass Tech and Muskegon, two of the best programs in the state of Michigan, meeting on the field for the first time. Get ready for a show.
Umfield will throw for the end zone. Oh, what a play!
And Walton's got space to run. Walton, 10-5, touchdown, Muskegon Big Reds.
Friday is all about pure competitive spirit, the will to fight and compete. Here at Hackley Stadium, the Muskegon Big Reds welcoming in Cass Tech. I'm Johnny Kane, TJ Lang sitting to my right, and Brooke Fletcher down on the sidelines for what should be an absolutely fabulous matchup. Tons of athletes all across the field, lots of speed. And how about conditions? Couldn't ask for better weather, and the brand new field here in Muskegon is terrific. We are ready for it. We know you're ready for it at home. So settle in for one of the best matchups of this season. It'll be Cass Tech who possesses the football first. Latrell White looking for a little breathing room, takes it up to the 32-yard line, and that's where the technicians will start. Number 16 in white, LaShawn Mumpfield. They call him Lee, 5'8", 170-pound junior. This is his second season as a starting signal caller. How about it?
Well, he can do it all, Johnny.
I was going to say last year, obviously, he had a great run at it. Look what he did last week, TJ.
Yeah, he's a traditional pocket passer. He'll go through all his possession, all his reads. Now let's see if Muskegon can find a way to get some pressure on him.
That's part of the game plan coming in. Instead, they hand it off right away to Shamar Snow. Snow comes in as a leading rusher, a fellow junior in the backfield. So let's take a look at some of the impact players there for Cass Tech. We talked about that offensive front. Good night, teetering around 300 pounds right across that front five. And they've got some heck of an athlete there in the backfield. Of course, there's a starting signal caller and athletes on the outside as well. So they've got it at the skill position. They have it up front as well. Second long. Mumpfield back to pass. Looking at the hash. Has his target. Nate Briggs. Diggs with a first down reception.
Great early protection. Big 51, Deion Walker out there, starting left tackle. He's a big boy. 4-man rush. Cass Tech will take that all day today if you keep giving it to him.
That's one of the keys for this team, obviously, is going to be that pass protect on the left side. You talked about it, highlighted it right there. You got to win your individual matchups up front. But now near midfield, here comes Cass Tech. Mumpfield from the shotgun. Hands it off to Snow. Snow into the second level. Makes a man miss up near the 40, and he'll be corralled down at about the 39-yard line. In on the tackle, B.J. Wright, among others. So that's close to another first down for Cass Tech. Looks like they'll be about a yard short. And there's Shamar Snow. Again, got that quick burst, TJ, able to get through the hole and then find it into the second level.
Yeah, if you're going to play 6 guys in the box, talking about Muskegon's defense, I think we're going to see a whole lot of runs tonight from Cass Tech.
No question. Mumpfield on second and short, hands it off.
Ooh,
and a big hole for Kareem Sharif. Sharif stays on his feet inside the 15. He'll be down near the 12-yard line. Explosive running from the 6', 240-pound senior.
That's a big boy right there, Johnny Kane.
He was running downhill. That's what they call running downhill.
Right over the left side of the line. Jackson Pruitt, Deion Walker. Watch the 2 guys on the left side here. Oh, beautiful job pulling guard around there with, looked like Jackson Pruitt able to get to the second level. Just didn't get touched really till he was 30 yards downfield.
There's a handoff to Snow. Snow looking for running room. Gets down inside the 10-yard line. Picks up about 3 yards on first down.
You're starting to see a little bit of an adjustment there from Muskegon. That time they had 7 or 8 guys in the box. I think they said, okay, we've seen enough of this, right? You guys are running the ball right down the field, gaining 5, 6, 7, 10 yards before getting untouched. Let's add a couple more safeties, linebackers up at that line of scrimmage. Try to get him hit in the backfield. Really nice job there by Muskegon's defense.
Saw Shane Fairfield barking out orders from the sideline. 2nd and 8.
Looks like you're going to have one-on-one up top with Jameel Gardner.
Instead, they'll hand it off. It's Snow one more time trying to get to the edge. Will not get there. Down to about the 5-yard line.
Wow.
A nice job by the Muskegon secondary to seal the edge.
Yeah, that should have been a tackle in the backfield, too. Shamar Snow just with a wicked stiff arm on that right side.
Another look at it.
Oh, man. Wow. Impressive.
You saw head coach Marvin Rushing. Got to be pleased with that type of effort from his junior tailback. So now 3rd down, 4 yards to go. They can pick up a first down without scoring.
Well, Johnny Kane, you got one-on-one up top again with Jameel Gardner versus who else? Miles Walton, Mr. Do-It-All.
That's a matchup I'd pay to see.
Timeout.
And there will be a timeout call. They want to make sure they get this one right. Cass Tech calling the first timeout of the game. There he is. Head coach Marvin Rushing in his first season at the helm. Remember last season, they finished 8-1, 5-0 in conference. The only loss Cass Tech had was to Belleville in the regional finals. Of course, he was a longtime assistant under Coach Wilcher, and now he gets an opportunity to run the program on his own. So, heck of a good guy, heck of a motivator as well.
And a heck of an opportunity as well, right? Show what he can do so far. Obviously, last week had a great start. Tonight, another great challenge. I know he's got that interim tag in front of his name right now, but I would imagine, you know, just talking to him, this is a heck of an opportunity for him to show what he can do taking over this Cass Tech team. And he's got some players on that side of the ball. I know last year obviously didn't end the way that Cass Tech hoped for, but a lot of these guys now are seniors, right? A lot of these guys have been in the program for 3-4 years. This kind of seems like if you're Cass Tech, this is the year you got to get it done.
And on the opening drive, what better way to pay this off than potentially with 6 points? 3rd down, 4 to go. Mumpfield fakes it to Sharif into the end zone. Touchdown, Cass Tech. Kamari Anderson, the junior tight end, with the first score of the football game.
Sean Hookville's pass is complete to Kamari Anderson in the end zone. 6 points, Cass Tech.
So how about that? They possess the football first, come right down the field and pay it off. They're an extra point away from making it a 7-0 ball game.
That was probably better than they even drew it up, Johnny Kane. Take a look at Kamari Anderson lined up here at the tight end spot. We'll get back to that in a minute. Point after is good. There you go. Just a little play action pass. That was designed. You could see right away Kamari Anderson had no intention of blocking anybody. Almost like a little pop pass.
That's what I was going to say, the pop pass.
The old pop pass. It works in high school football, especially when you have a kid 6'4", 225 like Kamari Anderson got in the end zone last week. Big play there for Cass Tech. Got in a little trouble there, drove down the field. 3rd and 5, 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Get the ball to the hands of your best player, Kamari Anderson.
That's what they say, right? And he utilized his size. He goes 6'4", and it was just over the outstretched fingertips of Damari Foster, the talented safety from Muskegon, who goes 6 foot.
And that's what happens, though, when Cass Tech, when they have the success that they had earlier in the drive where they're just running the ball for 5, 10, 15, broke a long one for 30 yards. Now those linebackers, the safeties, your eyes start getting hung up in the backfield a little bit. You'd like to see maybe a little bit better eye discipline, especially knowing the situation that it's 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line, that maybe, okay, they're going to try to set us up with a little pass here. That just goes to show the success that Cass Tech had on that first drive running the ball. Was able to freeze the safety's eyes, the linebacker's eyes just for that split second to get the ball over the second level of the defense for the touchdown.
So less than 4 minutes elapsed in the opening quarter. It is the visitors with a 7-0 lead, and they kick it away. Dominic Sugan, the up man, he gets the football, has it seen, up past the 30, up near the 40-yard line. He's going to be marked down at the 36. So good starting field position for the Big Reds. And here's the straw that stirs the drink, if you will. Miles Walton, 6 foot, 185-pound senior. Tremendous attitude. Again, 4-year starter on the defensive side. This is his first season as the starting signal caller. You saw what he did in week 1. 3 touchdowns against East Kentwood, but phenomenal attitude. His demeanor may be his best asset. Some would say his speed and playmaking ability as well. 5 receivers, little jet sweep, gets it. Not much doing though. Destin Piggy on the jet sweep, but unable to turn the corner. So Muskegon, you talked about it a little bit in the open, TJ. They're a little bit undersized when you compare them up against Cass Tech. They're also a little bit younger. Carl Brooks, just a sophomore. Miguel Botello, a sophomore as well. And Robert Mills, big number 68, just a freshman. Flags fly here on 2nd down. Looks like it's going to be a false start. So that'll back the Big Reds up 5 yards. What was pretty good starting field position for their first offensive possession.
Yeah, talking about this Muskegon offensive line, we talked to Coach Fairfield this week. How do you help these kids out a little bit? As Johnny, you mentioned, 2 sophomores starting freshmen going against some big, mean, tough dudes on Cass Tech's defensive line. How do you help them out? He's going to say, we got to get on their legs a little bit, right? Cut block them, fold block. Let's get the ball to the perimeter. Get these big guys running a little bit sideline to sideline. Maybe we can try to wear them out. You saw that on the first play with the jet sweep. Didn't get the success they were hoping for, but that's what I'm looking for a lot from Muskegon, trying to find ways to get the ball to the perimeter.
Walton back to pass, does have time. Good pass protection, dumps it underneath. Up near the first down, looks like it will be a first down. Damari Foster, the senior slot receiver. And that'll move the chains.
Incredible patience by Miles Walton, too, kind of scrambling out. Had a couple guys delayed blitz towards him, right? If you're Cass Tech, you got to assign maybe 1 or 2 guys to him, not 2 or 3. He was able to find, Damari Foster for a nice play there, first down.
And there's the pitch. It's going to be Foster again, trying to get to the edge, past the 50, and inside the 40-yard line. They're going to mark him out at the 44. So using that athleticism out on the edge. Again, that's where they feel they have their experience. That's where they've got their senior experience. Damari Foster and another man we'll see tonight being Jeremiah Dalt on the other side.
Yep, and actually Miles Walton just took a shot there too. Still able to get the ball out.
Speaking of shots, that's going to be a loss on the play. Damari Foster gobbled up by Ernest Young.
You can still see that we haven't seen any runs up the middle so far. I think they're very aware of big number 51, Deion Walker, in there, along with 55, Jalen Thompson, the junior. We've seen them trying to get the outside. And Coach Fairfield actually raved about the way that his receivers block, too. They've got to try to find a little bit more consistency getting the ball on the outside.
Handoff up the middle. Not much running room against those big bodies from Cass Tech. That's going to bring up a 3rd and long.
Well, Johnny Kane, did you notice the first play that they subbed out Deion Walker? Muskegon tried to run a dive right up the middle where his position was. I think Cass Tech was prepared for that because those guys, everybody on that defense just swarmed and just swarmed Jacob Price almost right at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and long, you got to try to find a way here to get a screen, maybe a draw.
There's Walton, a little bit of time. Now here comes the pressure. 3 men in pursuit. He's just got to throw it away.
Yeah, I don't think that crossed the line of scrimmage, did it?
Bring out the punting unit. So again, rules a little bit different in the high school game. You can see the referee does drop a flag now. Right at about the Muskegon 43-yard line. And it will be intentional grounding.
5 yards from the spot of the ball. Awesome.
So that's going to bring up 4th and a mile. Muskegon going to have to punt the football away.
Yeah, had a couple nice plays going there. Just couldn't find. And that's what Cass Tech does, though. Their defense, they're almost a bend, don't break, right? They play kind of a 3-man front. They'll give you a 4-man front, walking up an outside linebacker on the edge of the line. When it comes to those 3rd and longs, though, they are not afraid to blitz 7, 8 guys and try to force the quarterback to make a play because they are confident in their defensive backs, their corners, Tyrone Gaines, Sean Hodges. They're confident in those guys covering one-on-one. We just saw it last play. Miles Walton had absolutely no time, nowhere to go. Almost a 25-yard loss. Big change of field position there.
There's a punt from Sugan. Jamil Gardner, the deep man for Cass Tech, fields it about the 31-yard line. Up to the 40. Flag comes in on the play. And he's finally taken down at the 43. So we'll sort this one out. But a decent return from Jamil Gardner. And Cass Tech, depending on what the decision is going to get the football near midfield.
Got to think that usually goes against the return team.
The play happened right in front of us, right at about the 40.
Holding on the return team.
And that it will be. So they'll back him up a little bit. Starting field position will be the 34-yard line for the technicians of Cass Tech. And how about big tight end Kamari Anderson opening the scoring here at Hackley Stadium.
Welcome back to Hackley Stadium. Listen, we've been talking about the great traditions of Big Red football, which leads to why I'm sitting on top of a fire truck. This is one of my favorite traditions of Muskegon football. The members of the Muskegon Fire Department, they come to every single Friday night game. And tonight we are graced with the presence of the Blue Shift. I am here with Samantha, Jake, Logan, and Dunny. Guys, this is so much fun. I kind of just want to hang out here all night. How did this tradition get started, Samantha?
So for years, the Muskegon Fire Department has been coming to the games. Rain or shine, you'll always see us parked, usually engine 23 right here in this very spot. We like to think of ourselves as the Big Reds good luck charm, just out here trying to do our part to help them get a win every Friday night.
Well, it's obvious.
How about that on first down? Monster play from LaShawn Mumpfield to Jamil Gardner. Big chunk yardage on first down. There are more lights and sirens on the way, Fletch.
We had an opportunity to earlier this week to go around Muskegon, and it's obvious how much Muskegon football means to this community. So what does Muskegon football mean to you, Samantha?
It's a great rally point for the community. It's something that we can all get behind as a community. We all have our Big Reds gear. We can come out here on Friday nights or any time during the week wearing that to support this team. It's a great thing for us to come out and join them every Friday night.
All right, well, we appreciate you letting me come up here. I'm not really sure how I got up, Johnny and TJ, but I love the view. I might just hang out here the rest of the night.
Well, it looks great from where we're sitting, so be safe getting down there. They might have to extend the ladder for you. But, no, great tradition here. We talked about the history of this program here at Muskegon Big Reds. Right now, they're up against a game Cass Tech team. You see the big senior Kareem Sharif ripping off a big chunk play on first down. So they 2 plays, they've eaten up about 65 yards.
Yeah, and Shareem's gotten about 30 yards of untouched carries so far today. This offensive line is really getting to work.
Mumpfield this time drops back to pass, looking on the outside. Got his man! Touchdown! Cass Tech! Nate Briggs, the senior. They came to play here tonight, Lang.
What a throw. Wow. That was big time, Johnny Kane.
Well, you talked about it. They wanted to be able to bring pressure against the quarterback. They didn't want to be able to take a 3-step drop and just sling it to his targets. That time it was Nate Briggs with no pressure.
A lot of time in the back for Lee Mumpfield. He knew he was going. He knew where he was going the entire time. And it was actually pretty good coverage, too, by Kingston Blackman. It was just a perfectly thrown ball.
So on for the point after is Pierce Clark, and Clark splits the uprights. The technicians traveled 3 hours to get here to Muskegon. It took them 8 minutes to open a 14-0 lead over the Big Reds. You're watching high school football on Bally Sports. Cass Tech up 2 touchdowns. You can draw up the best play in the world, but you got to be able to execute, TJ Lang, and they did on this one.
Well, with the run game, look at number 5. Dominic Sugan has no choice but to play lower in the box, which doesn't give the corner any help. It doesn't give Kingston Blackman any help over the top. It's just a simple 3-step drop, no pressure. The offensive line doing what they do. These guys are dominating so far in the first quarter. Perfectly thrown ball by Lee Mumpfield. You just could not draw that up. You could not execute that better than you draw it up.
And Lee Mumpfield was 6 passing touchdowns a week ago. He's already got 2 here tonight. There's a scoring drive. 3 plays, 70 yards in less than a minute. That is what we call efficiency, folks.
Almost just looked like Cass Tech got bored and said, you know what, we'll go score right now.
What was one of the things Shane Fairfield talked about? We talked to him earlier this week. He felt like against Southfield A&T, they were like a cat toy.
Yeah, they'll run their offense and then they'll take their shots, and when they want to score, seems like they'll score.
Big Reds.
A nice tackle.
They'll start at about the 29-yard line. It's Jeremiah Dalt, the senior, on the return. And here comes Muskegon trying to answer the bell after getting a hit in the mouth here twice in the opening quarter. Julius Faulkner
Yes,
in on the tackle.
Continuing to bring the heat, too. Actually, what a stick there by Julius Faulkner, tight end.
Wow. Faulkner's a load.
Muskegon's got to find a way to get something going on offense here. Down 14-0 first quarter. Don't want to get away from the playbook too much, but you got to make some plays.
This time, Mumpfield ball loose. Recovered by Cass Tech. LaShawn Mumpfield faked the handoff, kept it himself. Ball came loose, and Tyrone Gaines Jr., the senior, able to fall on it for Cass Tech.
Oh, and Miles Walton, you just feel bad for the kid. He's walking over to play his cornerback spot now, just ducking his head. Actually had a nice run going there, too. We just talked about it. Down 14, you got to find a way to make a spark for your offense. Now, you know what? Sudden change here. Be alert for Cass Tech taking a shot, right? They get a free possession here. They've been just running the ball at will, throwing the ball at will. If you're Miles Walton and you're this Muskegon team, you got to find a way to get over that turnover very, very quick.
Mumpfield back to pass, slings it underneath, making the first man miss.
Julius Faulkner just came up with a huge tackle. There's Miles Walton. Oh, just a little loose with the ball. Just really nice tackle. This Cass Tech team is just running like a well-oiled machine right now, Johnny Kane.
Yeah, really are.
Muskegon's got to find a way to just get a little bit of momentum back on their side, whether it's a big hit, try to force a turnover, whatever it is. You cannot go down 21-0 to this Cass Tech team because they are not stopping right now.
Yeah, playing on a short field. They've got all the momentum right now. Mumpfield fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. Inside the 30-yard line, down to about the 27. So we talk about a matchup of East versus West, and you heard head coach Rushing talking about wanting this to be a national program. He wants it to be considered a national program. You can see there they are, founded all the way back in 1907. The 3 state championships in 11, 12, and 17. Notable alumni. I did not know that about Diana Ross.
Big Sean.
We're here to teach.
Notable. He's pretty notable as well. Great football players coming out of Cass Tech, too, recently.
Oh, no question about that. 1st and 10, ball at the 28-yard line. Here's Mumpfield. Speaking of great football players, looking for it all into the end zone. He was looking one more time for Nate Briggs, but just over his head by a smidge.
Just trying to take a shot again. Ooh, he actually had Nate Briggs, too. Really nice job. Actually, you know what? That was great coverage. 21, Kingston Blackman, who got beat on the last touchdown to Nate Briggs. Really nice job of keeping his depth, not getting too close to the line of scrimmage because he knows what kind of speed these Cass Tech receivers have, especially Nate Briggs. And nice job by the safety coming over the top as well. Wasn't surprised to see a shot there. Let's see if they could get back to the run game a little bit now. It looks like Muskegon, Johnny, is starting to load that box up a little bit more.
Showing him some different looks. Handoff. Snow spins around, took a shot right at the first down sticks, but that should move the chains, and it will. So tough running by Shamar Snow. Again, came in as the leading rusher, having a nice opening quarter here against Muskegon.
And the holes right now are just huge. I think, Johnny Kane, I think you can run about 10 yards before getting touched right now. These guys.
Is that a compliment?
That was a compliment. I know you're a pretty athletic guy. You've got a couple brothers in the NHL, Patrick and Evander Kane, right? Your dad was a professional wrestler, Kane, and your uncle, Undertaker.
Mumpfield, the handoff to Snow. Snow. What do you call it? Snow picks up a couple of yards here.
That's a big, you know what? It's still a 1-yard gain, but if you're Muskegon, it might be the first time you've held them to under, a 4 or 5 yard gain this quarter so far. You've got to keep building on that. Big 66 for Muskegon's defense. Jamarius Dickerson's in there, 64. Jahi Mathis. You got to find a way to plug up the middle of that defense. Do not give them those 5, 10-yard runs anymore with such ease.
Mumpfield back to pass with time underneath. Has his receiver down near the 5-yard line before he is wrestled down by the Big Reds defense. It was Latrell White, the senior wideout, takes it down inside the 5. Again, you talked about that Muskegon defense. We talked about some of those impact players there. They've got them in all 3 phases. Ty Irby, talented defensive end. B.J. Wright over the middle, in on the tackle there. And then Dominic Sugan in the secondary.
And you could see they brought pressure on that last play on the right side of the defense. The defensive end, I think it was Ty Irby, just could not, or Mason Hunter just could not kind of find his balance to get in there to put that pressure. But that's what Cass Tech does. If you want to play 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, they'll run the slants, they'll run the 5-yard outs all day.
Snow in for the 3rd touchdown of the opening quarter. Shamar Snow barely touched
and that's too easy.
Boy, Muskegon's got to find a way to slow the bleeding right now. That is just way too easy. Just a simple dive play, little counter. You get Masai Reddick pulling around, sealing off the edge. He's just untouched for another 5 yards. Muskegon's just got to find a way to slow these guys down a little bit.
And Pierce Clark on for the third time already here in the opening quarter. And the place kicker boots it through. It is 21-0. We still have 67 seconds left here in the opening quarter. We talk about Cass Tech coming in here. Lost to Belleville last year in the regional finals. And there's Marvin Rushing, again, the interim head coach. And he looks at this. I don't know if you look at it as an audition. You say, I'm going to do what I can with it while I've got it. Longtime assistant under Thomas Wiltshire before he went on to join the staff of Mel Tucker at Michigan State. But look at what Coach Wiltshire did just all across the state. And the state championships are in 11, 12, and 16. Just tremendous.
Man, his players loved him too, right? He was a heck of a coach. I know Coach Rushing's been around the program for a long time. And like you said, although he does have that interim tag, I'd imagine this is, like we said earlier, this is almost a resume builder, right? Show what you can do. It's your time now. You want to become the head guy, right? Let's see what you can do. So far through 5 quarters of football this season, they've been absolutely dominant. You got to give a lot of credit to Coach Rushing with the way he's gotten these guys prepared to play.
Ball be corralled right at about the 30-yard line, make it down to the 25-yard line, and that's when Muskegon will take over. Again, Coach Rushing, in talking to him this week, he said he wants it to be, I want my team to be humble. I want them to be hungry, but be humble coming in. Again, Eastern Michigan quarterback, linebacker from 94 to 98. And played back at Cass Tech back in 1993. So he's got that forest green and white running through his veins.
Eastern Michigan, baby.
Walton dances away from the first would-be tackler. Walton trying to get to the edge. This time, he can't. In on the stop from Cass Tech.
And Muskegon needs to maybe be a little bit careful with how they adjust the game plan. You don't want Miles Walton to put the entire game on his back just because you're trailing 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. You need to keep sticking with what you do as an offense. Stick with that dive play. Stick with that triple option. You're going to find a way to bounce one of them eventually, but do not put the entire load on Miles Walton. That's just a lot of pressure for that kid. You got it. There we go. Little dive play. Not getting much out of it, but you know what, Johnny? If you keep doing that, it's going to start opening up the play action down the field a little bit more. It's going to start opening up the outside runs a little bit more, the quick passes. That's what I'd like to see Muskegon do a little bit more. The Cass Tech right now, they've got a lot of guys around the line of scrimmage. They know that Muskegon wants to be physical and run the ball. AT&T last week, their mild success against Cass Tech came with the little slant routes over the middle. So if you're Muskegon, that might be an adjustment worth noting and worth taking a look at here moving forward.
Well, it'll be 3rd and long for the Big Reds when we start the second quarter. So far through 12 minutes of play, it's been all technicians. High school football fans, join us again next week as Football Fridays continue here on Bally Sports. We head back to the city of Detroit for one of the finest rivalries in the state of Michigan. It's Detroit Martin Luther King and Detroit Cass Tech. Kickoff at 7 o'clock from MLK High School on your home for high school football, Bally Sports Detroit. That's going to be a fabulous matchup. 2 top 20 programs. Cass Tech sure to move up depending on what happens here over the remaining 3 quarters at Muskegon.
Ranked number 9 right now. I got to think that's got to move up, especially after the last 2 weeks. Last 3rd down, Cass Tech brought some pressure. Doesn't look like they're bringing it this time.
Walton fakes the jet sweep, has time, steps into the throw, but a little miscommunication with his receiver. He was looking for Jeremiah Dalt, and Walton took a lick on that one, and Muskegon's going to have to punt the football away.
And it looked like they tried to set up a screen because you saw 3 Cass Tech D linemen in the backfield. Usually that means the offensive line's trying to release for a screen. This is what we meant, though, by don't put too much on Walton, right? Maybe take the screen pass, try to pick it up that way. He may be thinking he's got to do it all himself. Trust your teammates a little bit there, right? Instead of throwing the ball downfield, maybe get it to the running back, get those big hogs, that young offensive line out to try to pick up that first down. But another huge series there from Cass Tech's defense, just not giving an inch to this Muskegon offense right now.
Jameel Gardner back deep for the technician, standing at his own 42-yard line. Sugan gets the punt away. Gardner with plenty of room, bobbles it for a second. He's inside the M, and a phenomenal play. But Gardner able to slide the tackle from Jeremiah Dalt, number 14 in the Cardinal red, came flying down, looked to make a beautiful open field tackle, and somehow Gardner got away from it.
Well, there's a reason that kid's going to Division I college football. He's a heck of a playmaker.
Let's send it downstairs to Brooke Fletcher. Fletch.
Yeah, this Cass Tech offensive line is getting a lot of hype, and for good reason. They proved that in the first quarter. Now, we know how talented they are, but can we talk about their size? Just to get a better idea of how big they are, we compared them to the average height and weights of the offensive lines of college and pro players in Michigan. And if you just take a good look at this, guys, there's a 20-pound difference between the Cass Tech offensive line and the Lions. I don't know what they're feeding these boys, but they need to keep doing it.
I'll tell you what. And it's not just their size and stature, it's the way they play the game. I mean, they're opening up holes. And I'll tell you what, if I'm number 4, I'm Shamar Snow, or I'm number 1, Kareem Sharif, I'm taking those boys out for lunch every day because they're providing holes that are absolutely massive, and they're gashing this Muskegon D.
Yeah, it's just too easy. Left guard Jackson Pruitt, left tackle Deion Walker pulling around on the counter play. Once again, Muskegon just does not have an answer for Cass Tech's run game. These guys are getting 10, 15 yards before they even get touched. That was a key coming into this game. Trust your big offensive line versus a young defensive line of Muskegon. It's been working so far.
Snow down to the 26-yard line. Snow's been the bell cow here thus far.
Yeah, looks like Deion Walker's kind of...
There he is,
waving to the sideline a little bit. He's a started defensive tackle too, right?
Yep.
So maybe he just needs to go over there and get a little bit of drink of water. But that's 2 back-to-back plays Walker has pulled now. Big guy's got to be a little tired playing offense and defense. But you know what? He's a bell cow, man. They keep running right behind him, and it's paying off for these Cass Tech running backs.
Mumpfield this time keeps it himself. And how about that Muskegon defense able to swarm? Chris Jones, the sophomore defensive tackle, able to stay on his block, come up and make the play to string out Mumpfield for a very short gain on the play. That'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, and it was actually the same play that they just ran the last 2 plays. Looked like 3 times in a row. Left guard, left tackle, pull to the right. Defensive end for Muskegon crashes down, but great discipline by number 24, B.J. Wright, that middle linebacker for Muskegon, not chasing the running back after you got burned a couple times in a row, but staying in your lane, staying with your guy, coming up with a big tackle.
And fakes it to Sharif. Mumpfield keeps it himself, gets north and south, and with the extra burst gets down to the 20-yard line. That's going to move the chains one more time, TJ.
And Lee Mumpfield just can do it all, can he? We've seen him throw some incredible dimes so far today. 2 back-to-back plays. Picking up the first down with his legs. Took a shot there, too, from B.J. Wright again. This kid is special, though. I'll tell you what. He doesn't run the ball a whole lot. He likes to, I think he'd prefer to be a pass-first quarterback, but when he does run, he can really make you pay, which he just did, picking up another big first down.
Yeah, he'll keep you honest. 3 passing touchdowns so far tonight. That time uses his leg to pick up the first. 1st and 10 from the 20. The lefty looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Cass Tech. Latrell White on the receiving end of a tight spiral thrown from the junior quarterback from Cass Tech. That is 4 touchdowns in the first 2 quarters.
You talk about throwing a dime, Johnny Kane. He just does not miss. When he has time and he has an open he just does not miss. What an incredible series from Lee Mumfield, picking up a big third down conversion with his legs. One play later, taking a shot just right on the money again. This kid's impressive to watch.
Extra point is up and through. It is 28-0 in favor of Cass Tech. If you're keeping track on the season, that is 10 passing touchdowns for Lee Mumfield. And we got a long way to go here in this football game. Back here at Hackley Stadium, Cass Tech with a 4-touchdown lead. You get protection up front, you get execution on the outside, and that is why this team is up 4 scores.
And you take a look at the box from Muskegon, right? 7 guys in the box. Number 2, Mashawn Crowley walked up on the edge. They're going to try to bring pressure here. Look at the pickup from Kareem Sharif. That's what you love to see from your running backs. Just didn't work. Gave him enough time. Gave Lee Mumfield enough time again. Simple wheel route from Latrell White. But, Johnny, this all starts from the run game, right? They've been having so much success running the ball that now Muskegon has to bring that extra guy down into the box. And what does that do? It opens up a lot of one-on-ones on the outside for your receivers. He's found Jameel Gardner, Nate Briggs, now Latrell White for another big play. If you're Muskegon, I got to be honest, Johnny, I don't know what else you can possibly do either, because Cass Tech, it just looks like they are just doing everything right so far this game.
Well, one thing I know about Shane Fairfield's team is they're not going to tuck their tail in this one, but they've got to figure out a way to try to combat this machine that is the Cass Tech offense. And how about this? Jeremiah Dalt on special teams past the 50. He's got the kicker to beat, and the kicker slows him down just enough. But down inside the 29-yard line, they needed a spark, and the senior return man Jeremiah Dalt provides it.
Well, and that's a heck of a start right there. Fields it off the bounce, finds a lane. Right, kicker to beat. Kicker actually comes up and cuts him off pretty good. Put a little shot on him, too. But you're absolutely right, Johnny. Just the play Muskegon needed, right? You kind of look at these guys on the sideline hanging their heads a little bit. Need somebody to come up with a big play. Who better to do it than your senior wide receiver, Jeremiah Dalt? Now they got to make it count, Johnny. They got to put one in the end zone here. Get the momentum fully back on your sideline.
Yeah, no question. I'm sure the defense would like a blow here, but I know the Muskegon offense would like to strike quickly here. Let them know, hey, we'll take your punches. We're still in this football game as a flag flies.
That'd be interesting. The defensive line moved the same time as a left tackle.
That ball.
Yeah. How many times did
Carl
you
Brooks
win those arguments?
See, Carl Brooks, a left tackle, all you got to do is just stand up and point.
That's it.
Point at the D tackle, right? Sometimes that point just convinces the stripes to turn it the other way. But I think that was a good call. I thought the nose tackle moved a little bit quick. Carl Brooks probably saw it out of his peripheral vision, which made him jump a little bit. But, hey, Muskegon right here now. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised to see him take a shot, right, after a big kick return.
And they've got Jeremiah Dalt down here on the near side of your screen. Single coverage. Instead, they'll keep it on the ground. And Walton swallowed up.
Cass Tech is just swarming to the ball right now. He got hit by probably 3 different guys. Led by Deion Walker. Take a look at the defensive line here. Number 54, Jackson Pruitt, who also starts on the offensive line, plays both sides of the ball as well. Jalen Thompson in there as well. And it looked like the dive might have been open. I think that's what the coaches might be saying to Miles Walton when he comes off after the series is don't try to do it all yourself, right? You got a lot of good playmakers. Jacob Price, your halfback, you got some good playmakers out there. Let these guys pick up the slack with you.
And another flag comes in. Yeah, again, talking with Shane Fairfield, as much as they want to use their speed on the outside.
That ball. Delay a game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay.
So a 5-yard penalty will back him up. But Shane Fairfield, again, he talked about he wanted some of that straight-ahead, fast-hitting downhill runs. And didn't have a lot of time for counters. You saw in that last play, obviously Cass Tech snuffed it out. But look at what Fairfield has done. In 2017, I remember that state championship vividly. But fabulous overall record. Of course, Tony and these, such a fine program that he ran here. And now
long time, yeah.
Fairfield now, 12 seasons. And kids believe in him. Community rallies behind him. They're in one tonight. They're in the ring.
Yeah, their backs against the wall right now at adversity, but
Mumpfield tries to sling it out to his intended target, Damari Foster, but it's off the outstretched fingertips, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, but like you talked about with Coach Fairfield, there's no quit on this Muskegon team. He takes pride in coaching these guys to fight through the adversity. He knows he's got a pretty young roster, right? When we talked to him this week, he knew it was going to be a tough game against a veteran team with a lot of experience. He kind of called it a win-win because, hey, best case scenario, we go beat one of the best teams in the state. If we happen to lose, we get that valuable experience against a really talented team with a lot of guys who are going to be playing college football on Saturdays. And that kind of experience right now, that value is going to really show up at the end of October and November when the games really start to count. So there's no quitting this Muskegon team. They've just got to find a way to start stacking the success a little bit, right? We saw a big kickoff return. We saw another free 5 yards penalty. They give it back with a penalty of their own. Drop passes. Just got to slow the game down a little bit, right? Take a deep breath if you're Muskegon. Try to find a guy that's going to give you that spark like Jeremiah Dalt did on that kickoff return. And once you get that, that's all it takes a football team. Once you get that one spark, that momentum can shift really, really quick to your sideline, and you never know what could happen.
Yeah, get one spark to start the fire. You talked about, this isn't uncommon for Muskegon to schedule a quality non-conference opponent. As you mentioned, early in the season, you figure it out. You get punched in the mouth, you're going to find out, hey, we're not that good yet.
Yeah.
Sometimes things can be inflating. You open the season with a 47-7 win last week against East Kentwood. Say, okay, boys, we did good things in that game, but that's only good for 1 week. Now we got a whole new battle in front of us this week. Walton looking for Dalt into double coverage, a bit underthrown, and that'll be incomplete. So now decision time. 4th down 4 scores, ball right around the 30-yard line.
Yeah, and I think you have to go for it here on 4th down, obviously trailing four scores, but really nice route by Jeremiah Dalt. He had number 21 Tyrone Gaines beat. That ball's just thrown maybe 2 or 3 yards farther, give your receiver a chance to go make a play. I know that's one he's going to want back, but you know what? That just feels like a big missed opportunity if you're Muskegon, right? Miles Walton's got to find a way. When you get those openings on that offense, you got to make them pay. Cass Tech's going to bring the heat again here.
4th and 9. Walton's going to keep it himself. Can he get to the edge? Down to the 25, still on his feet, but he's going to be well short of the 1st down, and that will be a turnover on down. So Walton had an opportunity, made the first would-be tackler miss, but eventually that speed on that Cass Tech secondary able to come up and get him.
Yeah, not a bad design. I don't hate the play call, but just too long to go, right? 4th and 11 with the way that Cass Tech is swarming the football right now with their linebackers and their secondary. I think that's just trying to get 12 yards there on that 4th down is just a little bit too much to put on Miles Walton's plate. But
Miles Gilmore came up and made the tackle.
And Cass Tech is they're finishing plays today. I mean, they're wrapping up. There's not a whole lot of broken tackles from Muskegon. This Cass Tech team, you talk about driving 3 hours on the road, playing in this type of atmosphere here in Muskegon, where it's loud, almost like a small college-like atmosphere. These guys, you got to give credit to the coaching staff getting these guys ready to go.
Lee Mumpfield flags on the play. They'll blow this one dead. That's going to be another false start, and that'll back up Cass Tech to the 17-yard line.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
So really, aside from being a pretty clean first couple of quarters for Cass Tech, they've had a couple of penalties that have backed them up, but they haven't been those detrimental penalties. But some 5-yard varieties. But take a look at that. First 4 drives, what they've been able to do. They're efficient. Kareem Sharif lowers his head. Gets up to the 26-yard line on 1st and 15. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. So again, I don't know how much they script their plays coming into a game like this, but just about every one of them has worked to this point, and it's been balanced too. Shamar Snow been the bell cow running the football, and of course Lee Mumpfield throwing for more than 120 yards already tonight. Last week threw for 264 and 6 touchdowns. This time he finds Snow on the outside. Great open field tackle by the Muskegon secondary.
Big tackle there by Kingston Blackman. Beat earlier in the game on a go route. Comes up there on number 4. Shamar Snow's having, like you just said, Johnny, a heck of a game.
Offense. That penalty is declined.
Declined penalty, so that'll take it to 3rd and long now. All right, if you're Muskegon, though, this is your really first chance at a 3rd and long, right? Dive into that playbook, right? Are you going to bring pressure on Lee Mumpfield, which we talked about was going to be a plan for Muskegon? Are you going to kind of sit back, maybe drop 7-8 guys into coverage and somehow try to make a play in the defensive backfield? If you're Muskegon, you've got to get off the field here. It doesn't look like they're going to bring pressure, but they've got to lock up these wide receivers from Cass Tech.
Mumpfield with time has his intended target, and it's Jameel Gardner. Gardner, that'll move the sticks as we approach 7 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
Just an easy pitch and catch right there. No pressure. The offensive line doing an incredible job again, as they have been all day. Jameel Gardner just going to sit it down right past the sticks, right in that soft spot of the zone. Nobody there to defend him.
And these receivers
just keeps going.
Yeah, they just they're running to their spots. I mean, one of the things that Muskegon wanted to attempt to do, there's Snow getting into the second level up near midfield. One of the things you and I have talked about is Muskegon wanted to be able to, even if they couldn't get pressure on the quarterback, try to reroute some of those receivers so they weren't running to the hash marks. But right now, these receivers are being able to run untouched. They're getting to their marks. Mumpfield takes his 3-step drop, and he's just throwing dimes.
And there's no pressure, and it just kind of seems like Cass Tech and Lee Mumpfield right now are just taking what Muskegon's going to get them. It seems like they just have Muskegon wants to bring pressure. They want to load up the box. Okay, we'll take our shot one-on-one down the field. You want to give us the light box? Okay, fine. We'll run the ball right up the gap for 10 yards. It just seems like Cass Tech right now just has an answer for everything that Muskegon's throwing their way.
And Cass Tech up to the 50-yard line. It was Sean Hodges, the senior, getting an opportunity to carry the football. A little jet sweep action, trying to get to the edge. So nice job by Muskegon coming up. Damari Foster from his free safety position to make the tackle.
And these big offensive linemen are moving people right now. Even if he cut that back towards the inside, he still would have had a really nice running lane. But I tell you what, you think about Cass Tech's offensive line and how big they are. These guys are just as athletic as they are big maulers. Deion Walker getting on the edge that time for a big block. This Cass Tech offensive line are moving people right now.
Snow looking for running room. Pick up about 4 yards. Muskegon got to hang in. In on the tackle, Mason Hunter, the junior defensive end. They got some good ones. Again, all these guys outside of Ty Irby, and he's a fabulous player on the opposite defensive end. But these players from Muskegon, this is a type of experience not just going to help them this season, but as juniors and sophomores, that defensive front, these guys are going to get some experience, knowing what it's like on the big stage. They can carry it with them this year, and then going into their senior and junior campaigns, respectively, next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't be surprised to see another shot here from Cass Tech.
Mumpfield thrown to hash. Gardner right at the first down sticks. And he's going to be about a half-yard short, looks like.
A little RPO action going on there. I love it. But you know what? That's what Lee Mumpfield does. It showed up last week, right? Even if a run's called and the corner's giving Jameel Gardner 10 yards of space, He'll throw it out there. He'll throw the 5-yard curl route. He'll throw the quick slant route. Just another example of Cass Tech staying disciplined and just taking what Muskegon's giving them offensively right now.
3rd and short. Hand off to Snow. Snow leaning forward, and that'll move the chains. Now, you've watched a lot of game tape over your career. What is it about this offense of Cass Tech that resembles so much of what a pro style is?
Well, it resembles a lot of pro style in college because, you know, a lot of these guys on this offense go Division I throughout the past couple years, and a lot of guys on this offense right now because they're running what colleges run, right? You see a lot of high schools nowadays where it's a wing T offense and it's a lot of misdirection and you know, trying to confuse the defense. These guys pass block, they run block, they pull, they get out on screens, they block in space. I mean, that's what, if you're college coaches, that's what you love to see because you can bring this guy in like a Jackson Pruitt or Masai Reddick that fits your system. You don't have to teach him how to get into a three-point stance. You don't have to teach him how to pass block because maybe that kid, all he did in high school was just run block, right, downhill. These guys, their talent skills right now are just so far ahead of a whole lot of other high schools because of the scheme they run and the success they have doing it. And it's impressive to watch because, like I said, this is as close to college-like spread offense or pro-like spread offense that you can get at the high school level.
Kareem Sharif, the big body, swallowed up by that Muskegon defense. Mashawn Crawley, the senior linebacker, in there to make the stop. Inside 3 minutes to play here in the opening half at Hackley Stadium. There's Masai Reddick, young man you were talking about. Young man is built well, 6'5", 330.
A lot of big boys.
Headed
look
to
at
Tennessee.
Look at him standing next to Deion Walker, though. I mean, Deion Walker, they have him listed at 6'7" or 6'8".
Yeah,
sometimes
6'7".
high schools kind of boost that up a little bit. That kid's every bit.
He's every bit, yeah.
6'7". He's a big boy.
And speaking of big boys, Kareem Sharif, and just a couple of yards. He goes 6 foot 240. But credit that Muskegon defense getting in there on the stop. Ty Irby, defensive end, one of the first men in on the tackle. So that's going to bring up 4th down. Be interesting to see what Coach Rushing decides to do here. They have all the momentum in their favor. Well, there is no decision to be made. He's going to keep his offense out there on the field. At the 29-yard line, they're going to go for this.
And they've had a lot of success running the ball right downhill with the counters. We haven't seen Lee Mumfield run the ball in a while. Let's see if he pulls this one and keeps it himself to pick up another 1st down.
Muskegon crowd getting into it a little bit. No, he's going to air it out. Mumfield
wow.
Got his man, Gardner. Touchdown, Cass Tech. Are you kidding me? On 4th and 1.
What a throw, and the coverage was pretty good from Kingston Blackman. A little Muskegon, Hackley leap there at the end. I think it's going to cost them maybe some yards on the kickoff, but you know what?
The Hackley leap.
That's a big-time throw and catch.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense. That will be enforced on the kickoff.
Wow.
Wow was right.
I mean, that's a go for broke play.
4th and 1, too. Taking what they're given. One-on-one coverage on the outside with your best receiver.
And again, it wasn't terrible coverage by Kingston Blackman, as you talked about, but he threw it outside shoulder. And credit the effort from Jameel Gardner, the senior. Came in with 90 receiving yards and a couple of touchdowns on the season. All he's doing tonight is adding to those stats. Tight spiral into the corner. Tech leads it 35-0.
Coming up at halftime, you'll want to stick around. We'll show you why football is more than just a game to the community of Muskegon. A terrific century-plus historic hold high school football has on this great city. Plus, I'll catch up with both of our head coaches on adjustments that'll need to be going on during the second half, guys.
Well, I'll tell you what. This Muskegon team, they're going to have a lot to discuss. Not going to have a lot of time to completely reverse script on the plan coming in, but they're going to need to make some adjustments. And again, I think you hit it right on. It is not even so much taking what they give you in a given situation. It is just whatever they give us on this play. I know we only need 1 yard, but here's what we need. And I've got single coverage on the outside. So I know this may be a high-risk play, but this is what they're giving us, and this is how we're going to execute.
And why not take it?
And that's what they're taking.
Defense has been playing so good too, right? Still a shutout on the board. So sure, worst case scenario, you turn the ball over down in Muskegon's territory. You trust your defense to continue making plays. This Cass Tech offense is just extremely fun to watch tonight. It's almost like they're just sitting on the sideline playing any, mini, miny, mo. Okay, what play do we want to run? We're just having success with everything right now. And Lee Mumfield, the throws that he has made, you hit it on that last touchdown to go outside shoulder, and Jameel Gardner to make the adjustment just as the perfect time not to let the corner know what he's doing was incredible.
Offsides kicking team. 5-yard foul.
So that'll be a 5-yard penalty assessed to Cass Tech. They'll move it back and kick from the 20-yard line here. We're talking about Lee Mumfield. Again, the 6 touchdowns in the opener against Southfield A&T. Now 5 here tonight. 11 passing touchdowns on the season. And we still have another half of football to play. We knew there'd be a ton of talent on both sides coming into tonight, but I'm impressed with what we've seen so far from the visitors. And we'll get an opportunity to see them again next week against Detroit King. And this time they kick it away, and it'll be Jeremiah Dalt. Dalt with a big kickoff return earlier in this game, trying to stay on his feet up to the 42-yard line. And that's where the Big Reds will take over.
Yeah, let's take a look one more time at this throw by Lee Mumfield. Just in a perfect spot. Look at all that room that he gives Jameel Gardner to the outside. Gardner makes the adjustment at the last split second, right, to separate from number 21. Kingston Blackman just did not even give the defensive back a chance to get close to that ball. Perfect throw, perfect route, perfect catch, perfect nice little jump over the wall. I know it cost his team, but you know what? If you're the coaches on the Cass Tech side, you might give Jameel Gardner a little bit of a break because you have a 5-score lead about to head into halftime.
Yeah, Cass Tech going to call timeout here. And again, doing a great job on the defensive side are the technicians. And again, this game was going to come down to physicality, and both these coaches, both these staffs, tremendous respect for one another. We see that week in, week out. But both these programs, they realize that this game could be a tremendous measuring stick to see where you're at. And you both come in undefeated. You realize, you're going to be reading some stuff, and you're going to be hearing things and hearing talk radio, and everybody's going to say how good you are, but you got to make sure you keep your team focused. Same goes with a game like this. I've seen some, and you've seen this too. We've seen it in the Super Bowl. You see a 4-touchdown lead that can vanish just like that. So here, with it being a 5-touchdown game, certainly it's an uphill fight. But Cass Tech wants to make sure it's buttoned up on the defensive side. They finished the first half the way they started it. And Muskegon looking for a little spark here. Walton on the jet sweep. Gives it up.
Got some room.
A little running room. There he goes. Destin Piggy down the sideline inside the 20-yard line. And that's the spark that can create a flame. Flag comes in late. So they're going to mark him out at about the 15-yard line. We'll wait to see what the laundry's all about.
Yeah, usually when it comes in that late, you got to think it's a late hit of some sort, maybe down the sideline. We'll take a look here where we have to.
Good ball. Personal foul. Defense. Kept the distance. First down.
So that'll put the football inside the 10, TJ.
And Miles Walton right there, right? He's been trying to do it all himself in the first half. Get the ball to your playmakers. Dustin Piggy. Great name, great play. Little spark in you right before halftime. Get into that locker room, right? Punch this thing in the end zone. Find a way to get 7 points up on the board. Head into halftime with a little bit of momentum on your side. right? Maybe you figure a few things out if you're Muskegon, but right there, that was just incredible. Great job. And that defense you saw, too. They know that Miles Walton has been taking the majority of the carries, right? So 2 or 3 guys crash down on him. He gets the ball to Dustin Piggy. Big play down the sideline.
Walton keeps it himself all the way. Inside the 5. Walton! Touchdown, Big Reds! Quarterback keeper all the way. That explosive dynamic that he brings to this offense. And Muskegon on the board for the first time tonight.
And the speed. Look how quick he gets to the edge. He's got a lot of guys chasing him, and he just outran everybody on that Cass Tech defense. Guys are probably tired after that big play a couple plays ago from Piggy. Miles Walton, there was a big time in this game to make a play. Not going to say it's too late. You have a whole half of football left, Johnny Kane. But you know what? If you're Muskegon, that's exactly what you needed at that point.
Adrian Ramos Velasquez splits the uprights 35-7. One of the things Shane Fairfield talked about with his team, he felt like one of the strengths would be the perimeter blocking from some of his slot receivers and outside receivers. On that particular play, it was Destin Piggy from the slot, held his block long enough for Miles Walton to find the end zone. So that's what you need inside a minute to play here in the opening half. Try to get some positive feelings as you head in here and have to make the necessary adjustments.
Yeah, and still a minute left, so you got to make sure Muskegon defensively, you got to button down. But nobody really pulls. Great block by Jacob Price, the running back. Number 3, Dustin Piggy, again, like you just said, had the huge play down the sideline, the unselfishness to complete the drive by blocking for his star quarterback, Miles Walton. Johnny Kane, you said it a couple minutes ago. Crazier things have happened, right? Muskegon's got to find a way, right? You still got a minute left. You got to think Cass Tech, with the momentum that they've had and the fire that they've had going on offense, I can't see them taking a knee going into halftime. I think if you're Muskegon, hey, you got to find a way. They haven't found it yet to get pressure on the quarterback, but you have to stop the run first. You got to try to find a way to limit the run game of Cass Tech before you even think about disturbing Lee Mumfield. But this is going to be, you got a minute left. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I think Cass Tech's going to come out and try to get that 7 points that they just gave up back before half.
Muskegon felt like its best advantage was speed and athleticism on the outside. We saw it on that drive. Can they do it again? Kick it away. Cass Tech with good field position up near the 50-yard line. Caleb Davis. And how about that? Now Cass Tech with some decisions to make. They're going to get the ball right at the 50-yard line. No timeouts remaining, but this offense certainly has that quick strike ability. But after going up 35-0, I can see them wanting to put a few more points on the board before they head in and call it a half.
Yeah, especially after just letting up a long touchdown drive from Muskegon, the first points of the game. Got to think they go for more here.
Mumfield hands it off to Snow. Snow up to the 30-yard line, down to the 29.
Got a little no huddle going now.
21-yard pickup. No huddle offense. Here comes Mumfield to the line. 2 receivers on the near side. Mumfield hands it off. Snow one more time. Down to the 21-yard line. 30 seconds remaining.
Coaches from Cass Tech are fired up after those 2 nice runs. No timeout, though, yet. Still 15 seconds left to go.
Same formation, same play. Snow, another chunk yardage. Down to the 15-yard line. 9 seconds remaining. That's a first down run. Ball at the 16.
Got to think they're going to spike it here. Clock's running.
I'm going to say time for a couple of plays. Mumfield does just that. tucks up under center. They let some clock run off the scoreboard here. Right now, the scoreboard here at Hackley Stadium says 4 seconds remaining.
You got a field goal unit coming out here. All right. Should be 33-yarder, Johnny Kane. Well, this would be an impressive answer from Cass Tech. What an attitude drive, though, right? Just 3 runs for 30 yards right down the middle of your defense.
All right, so the ball's going to be moved back. 4 seconds left. You see Jalen Roberts there to hold. And Pierce Clark in to try a long field goal. Some movement up front. Flag comes in. And they're going to back him up again, so this will be interesting.
Yeah.
Ball at the 21 as of now.
It's like Muskegon tried to get him to flinch, but as long as they didn't cross the line of scrimmage, should be on the offense.
Dead ball. False start. Offense.
And there it is. That's going to move the football back to the 26-yard line.
The offense coming back on the field now. Nope, they changed their mind.
Yeah, Pierce stays out there. The place kicker was still out there. Now he trots off, and the offense comes back out. So 4 seconds remaining. Again, ball at the 26. And we know Mumpfield on the edge. You got to be cognizant of where Jameel Gardner's lined up, and also Latrell White, numbers 9 and number 8.
He's up at the top of your screen. You got to think, yeah, they got to go his way.
Mumpfield steps up in the pocket, has pressure, heaves it, into coverage.
Oh.
Did he come down with it? He did. Touchdown, Cass Tech. Are you kidding me? The improvisation of Lee Mumpfield.
Oh, wow.
And the concentration on the receiving end. John McIntosh.
Wow.
How does he come down with that? Again, pretty good coverage by the Muskegon secondary. But McIntosh, with great concentration to hang on to it. Seth Harris was there. And somehow, some way, Cass Tech went from kicking or attempting a long field goal to being forced into a one-shot opportunity. And Lee Mumpfield keeps it alive and throws his 6th first-half touchdown.
Yeah, let's take a look. Wow. What an effort, Josh McIntosh. Holy cow. The footwork. Knowing exactly where he is in the end zone. Getting the feet down. Lee Mumpfield scrambling, extending the play. And throwing up a prayer.
Tamarian Oaks was there in coverage, but good night.
Oh, everything is just going Cass Tech's way right now. And it's not luck, Johnny. These guys are just straight up making plays. Cass Tech's offense is just making plays. That's 6 touchdowns.
6 touchdowns here in the first half.
Wow.
Let's send it downstairs. Brooke Fletcher standing by with the head coach.
Coach, you knew your team was coming into a hostile environment tonight, but did you know they were going to have that big of a first half? 42 points by your offense. What did you see from them in the first half?
Well, it just started in practice all week. We knew we had a lot of poise. We knew we were coming in a hostile environment. This is what high school football is all about. You know, the winningest program in Michigan, we have a lot of respect for these guys. And I appreciate the way the kids practiced all week. That's why we're here where we're at. We knew we had an opportunity. We thought we had good matchups. And I think the first half demonstrated that.
You said the point of emphasis going into this game was dominating the line of scrimmage. How impressed were you with the guys up front on both sides of the ball?
Well, we anticipated we had the matchup advantage there right now with our guys in the trenches. And like we said, the most physical team is going to win. We preached that all week. We let off a little bit at the second half of practice to make sure the kids were fresh, and I think we made the right decision.
Well, let's talk about that last play at the end of the first half. Have you seen a catch like that?
Yeah, we had one a couple years ago at St. Ed's to win the game on a Hail Mary at the end of the game. So it's similar to that, but we expect our kids to make plays. He made a play.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Johnny, back to you.
Well, I don't know how many adjustments they're going to have to make here at half, but certainly Coach Rushing pleased with the efforts of his young men after a long bus ride over here against the all-time winningest program in the state of Michigan. Cass Tech says, we're here to play. They're up 42-7 through 2 quarters here on Bally Sports.
Welcome back. A huge first half by Cass Tech. It's now halftime here at Hackley Field. Muskegon football is unlike any other. It's all about family and tradition. And this past week, I got to be a part of that. I traveled around the community to talk to alumni, business owners, and hey, even some firefighters to see why Big Red football means so much to this town.
There's a time in each year that we always hold dear, good old summertime.
This place, they've been playing football here since 1907. I think it's really just a tradition that built, from way back. Fans like their football. They like to see the local team win, and that's just carried on all the way through.
Well, I said something to my oldest boy. He said, if we got a chance to feed the Big Reds, we got to do it because it's the Big Reds. We tell a lot of people that we feed the Big Reds, just because it's we're part of the organization now. And it is funny, though, that when we do go to the games, and I'm there with some of my friends, that I can sit there and say, if there's one thing I know for sure is that I know what's in everybody's stomach. If there's one thing I know.
The Muskegon firefighters have always been huge Big Red supporters. We always did the department's tailgating on my days off there, and on the work days, it's always been tradition that the fire department is reserved a spot. We show up when we can in between calls and root the team on. The Big Reds have always been a strong team and a major tradition in the Muskegon community.
Well, they have a big game on Friday. Will we see you there?
Oh, we'll be there.
I remember in 2015, 16, I was like, shoot, I want to be like KP. I want to be like Ladarius Jefferson. I used to see them run up and down the field, score these long touchdowns. You look up in the stands and you see not just your family, but you see actual fans, people who watch. It's older people who watch younger people play football, your fans, they really admire you, look how good he is. We got most definitely one of the best fan support, for sure.
Well, I started probably coming to games in the late 50s. The best entertainment for a cheap price on a Friday night, and just the atmosphere, being around, when you get older like me, being around younger kids, it makes you feel a little bit younger. I start getting excited probably on Monday night.
It's literally my favorite place to be on a Friday night. I've been to a number of stadiums across the state looking for something that replicates this. As you can see, it sits in a neighborhood. That, I think, is really important, number one. Number two, the fans here, they know their football. And that can be grief sometimes for the football coaches who line up on this side of the field and can hear the steps away. And to me, it's a treat to be here on a Friday night. They love their football, and it's quite obvious.
I had so much fun talking to all of those people this past week. One of the guys, Butch, you saw him, he graduated from Muskegon High School in 1964. He went on to serve in Vietnam, and after the war, he said he could have gone to any city. But there were 2 reasons why he came back to Muskegon. 1, because of the beautiful views of Lake Michigan, and 2, Big Red football. And you best believe he's in the stands tonight cheering on the Big Reds. All right, a lot more to come here from Hackley Field. LaShawn Mumfield finds John McIntosh Jr. for what? The catch of the year, possibly? Cass Tech is up big at halftime, 42-7. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's halftime here at Hackley Field. High school football fans, join us again next. Football Fridays continue here on Bally Sports. We head back to the city of Detroit for one of the finest rivalries in Michigan. It's Detroit Martin Luther King and Detroit Cass Tech. Kickoff at 7 p.m. from MLK High School on your home for high school football, Bally Sports Detroit. Calendar for Friday nights throughout the month of September and into October. Next week, Cass Tech at Detroit Martin Luther King. Friday, September 17th, Traverse City Central at Traverse City West. Friday, September 24th, Grand Ledge at DeWitt in the Lansing area. And Friday, October 1st, Lowell.
The lead is 35, still have 24 minutes of action left to play here at Hackley Stadium. Want to let you know the 4th annual Legacy Senior All-Star Game will be hosted this upcoming November 28th in Brighton at the Legacy Center Sports Complex. The event will once again be televised here on Bally Sports Detroit. 80 of Michigan's best graduating seniors from all across the state will strap on their helmets for the final time and showcase their skills for a statewide audience. Nominations are open. They'll be taken online at legacyfootballorg.com. Click the home page and click on the nomination link. And those announcements, the selections will be announced in early November. Head coach Marvin Russian feeling good about that first half of action by his technicians. We're back with the call of the third quarter right after this. Football Fridays on Bally Sports are brought to you by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Family, not just the name of our company, but the way we do business. By your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Feiger Law. Nobody knows the law like we do. Feiger Law. How about this? Talk about being the all-time winningest program in the state of Michigan. How about tied for 6th nationally? They know how to win here at Muskegon. It's in their blood. They've got a tough road to hoe here ahead against Cass Tech. Down 35 points. We'll bring you the second half kickoff right after this here on Bally Sports. Well, the lights are shining bright on two of the preeminent programs here in the state of Michigan. So far, through one half of play, it's been all the visitors in the forest green and white. And take a look at it. The stats back it up, TJ Lang.
Very lopsided. That's a nice way to put it. You look at the time of possession, 15-50. You look at the total plays, 39-17. Obviously, the yardage total sticks out, 390-99. But look, Cass Tech has had the ball majority of the first half, right? And they scored on every single possession. So if you're Muskegon, it'll be interesting to see what they change coming out of halftime, the adjustments that they make. But one thing that I know, you got to find a way to slow down this rushing attack from Cass Tech. 200 yards and a touchdown in the first half. If I'm Cass Tech, I think we all know what they're going to do. They're going to continue to try to impose their will physically on the ground offensively. If you're Muskegon, it might be one of those adjustments, Johnny, where, you know what, hey, DBs, you guys are on an island. You're going one-on-one because we're putting 7 and 8 guys in the box. These guys are not going to keep continuing to run the ball at will, 10, 15-yard gains without even getting touched. That's got to be the number one adjustment if you're Muskegon.
And I wish you could point to one weakness in Cass Tech's arsenal, but there really hasn't been one. Take a look at this last play. Again, last play of the first half, big momentum swing.
And the scrambling ability. Watch the footwork, though. The catch, and his left foot comes down just in bounds before that right foot hits. John McIntosh with just a huge play. And who would have thought that a false start would have benefited your offense, because Cass Tech was lined up to kick that 37, 38-yard field goal. That's not a chip shot when it comes to high school football. You get a false start. Instead, you back up, you put your offense on the field, you go down and you make a huge play to add to your already big lead. That's just a big-time football play from Lee Mumpfield, scrambling, letting his receivers get to the end zone, extending the play, and by John McIntosh to find a way with guys all over him to come up with that ball, not only to make the catch, but to get his foot down, get his feet in bounds. That's big-time football. Somebody stole the tee.
Looks like there will be a delay.
Oh, nice jump. He made it.
To start the second half.
I think he took the... Did he take the ball or the tee?
He took the football.
Well,
he took the football and he's going home.
I don't know if that was an adjustment from Muskegon, but Cass Tech players are...
Well, that was the game ball.
It.
I thought it was part of the halftime activities here. But looked like we had a fan run onto the field and take the game football, and Coach Rushing's going to get his team off the field right now, and they're going to reset. So you never know what you're going to see at a high school football environment like this one, but here we go.
Well, you don't want to... Okay, he's got the tick-tock going.
Tucks it. I mean, you got to tuck that high and tight.
All right.
That's on the Instagram Live.
A little loose with the football.
Yeah, but at least he's got it in the outside arm. Does get it into the end zone. I think...
Little dance going. Okay, look at the leap.
And then look at the Hackley leap.
It's like and a 9-foot wall over there, too.
And the celebration continues. So...
You obviously don't want to condone that type of activity, especially at a high school game, but you know what?
40-yard touchdown scamper.
Yeah.
Untouched.
He was wearing red. It's one of the longest plays we've seen from a guy in red tonight, but...
Well, we'll see.
We're getting back into it now.
Well, the thing is, we can have a little fun with it. I'm sure the fans are wondering what happened too, but from a player's standpoint, you're trying to get yourself ready, trying to get yourself psyched for the second half. And look at the Cass Tech side.
Yeah, I think they're ready.
Cass Tech trying to bring the noise here. The Muskegon side says, hey, this is our house. Muskegon will possess the football first here to open the third quarter. And Dominic Sugan, hit hard by the Cass Tech special teams. It was Darius King, the senior, coming in to make the stick. Now, one thing you want to notice here, MHSAA rules, with it being a 35-point game here in the second half, you will see that clock continue to run. So, folks watching at home, pay attention to that, because Muskegon already fighting an uphill battle, and now you're fighting a running clock as they attempt to try to get themselves back in this football game. Down 35 points here to start the third quarter.
And a good way to do it is to get a quick score somehow, right? We saw the biggest play in the first half come from that little jet sweep to Dustin Piggy. Let's see if they get him a little bit more involved in the second half.
Miles Walton.
Oh.
Ball comes loose. And let's see who fell on top of it. Cass Tech says they have it, and they do. Deion Walker, big number 51, falls on top of it. Better check the pressure in that football.
Just a mix-up on the handoff. Jacob Price kind of had his arms a little too close together. Maybe thought that Walton was going to pull it out. Take it himself, but just a brutal start to the half. If you're Muskegon, get a chance to get the momentum somewhat back on your side. That clock's going to continue to roll now. I can't see Cass Tech slowing down anything that they're doing offensively. Look for them to just continue to pound the rock right up the middle of that Muskegon defense.
Deion Walker with the fumble recovery. Now here comes Cass Tech with a short field jet sweep, trying to get to the outside. That'd be a couple of yards on first down. It was Latrell White getting out to the edge. So how about LaShawn Mumpfield on the season? Think college teams are paying attention? That's week 1 against Southfield A&T and 1/2 against a good Muskegon football team. That is absolutely getting it done.
Against big-time competition, no less.
Mumfield. Handoff. Chunk yardage up about a yard shy of the first down. That's Jason Philpott Dixon. Came in averaging 3 yards per carry. Getting his first touches here in tonight's ball game. And looks like we have an injured Muskegon player. Looks like the senior Jeremiah Dahl. So we'll take a timeout here as they tend to the injured Muskegon player. We're back right after this.
That was Dalt that got hurt there.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get a shot of him.
Oh, yeah, he's up and moving now.
Yeah, he's good. Okay, well, that's not the way you want to start if you're Muskegon here. But they got time.
Jeremiah Dalt. The kid's been making some plays today, too.
Yeah, physical play.
Yeah. Masai Reddick going to Tennessee, or is that Pruitt?
No,
that's
Reddick.
Reddick.
Reddick is going to UT. Yep. To play for Josh Heupel.
Heupel. I remember watching him at Oklahoma.
Yeah. He put on a little bit of weight since he played.
Yeah. He looks like old, too.
He does.
Dude, all college coaches look old. I'm convinced coaching takes like 20 years off your life. The stress that those guys go through.
All right, we'll have some fun.
Welcome back. We know how great of an athlete lineman Masai Reddick is, but you might not have known he is actually quite the artist. He is going to Tennessee to play football next year, but he's also planning on majoring in art. Drawing murals and portraits is his go-to form of art, and he said he actually just walks around the city of Detroit, finds people, and just sits there and just draws them. I asked him if he sells any of his arts yet, but Johnny, TJ, you know you can't rush artists on these things. You got to wait, and it's a whole process. You got to wait until they're ready, so he said he would let me know when he's ready to sell his art.
I love it. I love it. Wishing him all the best. Going to play in SEC country for the Volunteers. That'll be fun for him. Handoff to Philpott Dixon one more time. Not much room, but it was 3rd and short. And it looks like he is going to be short, TJ. So that's going to bring up 4th down with this Cass Tech offense. And again, only once today have we seen anything resembling anything other than the quarterback being out on the field. And that was with the end of the first half. They were going to attempt a long field goal. But a false start puts that back and ended up with 7 points. So on 4th and short, Cass Tech elects to go for it one more time.
And last time they did, they threw a bomb to Jameel Gardner up the left sideline. I got to imagine they're just going to run this one right up the middle.
There it is, Philpott Dixon.
Short again. Nice play, defense.
And that's the stuff. What a stand by the Muskegon defense. So after turning the football over, able to bow its back, and the Big Reds are going to get a turnover on downs.
45, Ty Irby. Oh, nice job taking on the pulling tight end their time, 18, Julius Faulkner. Look, 3-4 Muskegon Big Reds in the backfield. That's what you need to see from your defensive unit. Not one guy back there. Get everybody back there.
Yeah, B.J. Wright was hanging on to him as well. Ty Irby the first to get there. These are how comebacks begin. Again, stubbed their toe on the first offensive possession to get things started by turning it over, but here we go.
Never say never, Johnny.
Never say never. Miles Walton. 2 receivers out wide. Fakes the handoff to Jacob Price. Walton keeps it himself. Walton shakes the first tackler and then is swallowed up by big Deion Walker. All 340 pounds of him.
That was really close to being a big play, but talk about running into a wall. Nice play, cut it back, 50. Oh, Deion Walker.
Look out. He said, come to me.
Oh, that size advantage.
Yeah.
That's a big boy right there.
That's not a fair fight.
And Deion Walker, for being a big fella like that, he moves, man. He's got feet on him. He is athletic. He'll throw a swim move in, a spin move, chasing down that tackle from the backside on a very athletic quarterback. Impressive play from him.
All right, we'll be talking more of Deion Walker and his collegiate future when we return on the other side of this break.
But he's a quiet guy, but when he turns it up, the kids listen to him. I really love that he's been stepping up as a leader, particularly with the young guys, to drive them. And to be honest, talent-wise, I mean, it's off the chart. I mean, I honestly, if he stays healthy and humble, I expect him to play on Sundays. I expect him to get drafted on Thursday, the first round of the draft. That's something that he didn't like at first when we shared with him, but he has that type of talent. He has that type of ability. I think he's really starting to click into him how special he is.
You heard Coach Rushing talking about his four-star defensive tackle, Deion Walker. Heavy interest from a lot of major college football programs, including Alabama. You see number 10 ranked senior in Michigan is expected to visit Michigan again here in the near future on an official visit. Got some SEC interest, some Big Ten interest. And we'll just see how it all plays out. But again, tremendous upside. Already a fabulous high school football player. Scary to think what he'll be able to do at the next level. And Miles Walton, not a great snap there by Muskegon, able to fall on top of it. And coming out of a timeout like that, again, it's a Muskegon team that trying to get some favorable things moving in their favor, but they continue to stub their toe a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the second time in the last two drives that we've seen a little mishap. Fortunately, able to get back on top of the ball to give yourself a chance at third down here, but Muskegon offensively just Walton saw a bad handoff earlier, missed snap there. You got to stop compounding the mistakes, especially when you're facing such an uphill battle as they are right now.
Walton be 3rd and 12, ball placed on the 20-yard line, and again flag comes in. They're going to blow this one dead. Going to be a false start by Muskegon, so 3rd and 12 becomes
dead ball. False start offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
3rd and 17.
Coaches hate when wide receivers false start. All they have to do, Coach Fairfield, you just heard him yelling at number 14, Jeremiah Dalt. A lot of times, you have an offense like this, but you're going to have a cadence to begin with. So receivers, all you have to do is watch the ball, and that's what Coach was yelling at him. All you got to do is watch the ball. The false start from the receiving crew is just unacceptable.
Walton, all sorts of time, looking for Dalton, has a step on his man. Lots of contact. That's going to be pass interference against Cass Tech. So Jeremiah Dalton ran a really good route, able to get behind his defender. Cass Tech trying to play catch-up. Had to throw a flag.
And he made up for that false start he had just about 30 seconds ago as well. That's what you need from senior leadership on this team. I know the game's kind of gotten out of hand a little bit, but you make a mistake, find a way to correct it. Go make a big play. Even though he didn't come out with a catch, that's still going to be a big penalty for them.
Yeah, it was 3rd and long.
Pass interference. Defense. 15 yards. 3rd down.
I seen he was going to run over.
Oh, so it was 3rd and what do we have it at? 3rd and 17? 3rd and 18? So it's 3rd and 17. Looks like they got Sean Hodges on the flag. So it'll be 3rd and about 3.
It's actually pretty good coverage, too, from Sean Hodges. I know that Dalt just kind of lost his footing a little bit. There was some hand contact, hand fighting going both ways a little bit. I think just the fact that Dalt lost his footing and went down probably made the hand contact from Sean Hodges look a little worse from the referee's vantage point. Do you have a 3rd down here?
We'll call it 3rd and 2. Yeah, 3rd and 2, ball at the 30. And timeout, Cass Tech. There's Coach Rushing. You heard him singing the praises of his talented offensive and defensive lineman, Deion Walker. Let's send it downstairs. Brooke Fletcher with more on that, Fletch.
Yeah, guys, I had a chance to sit down with Deion Walker and Jalen Thompson earlier this week, and Deion says the reason why this line has been so successful is because of the chemistry that they have been able to build off of the field. He said that he started a group text where they talk all the time. They'll go out to eat at restaurants. They'll hang out at each other's houses, and they also will go bowling together. Now, of course, I had to ask him, who's the best bowler? And without hesitation, he was like, of course I am. But I took a picture with him just for you guys to have a reference of how big this boy is.
My gosh, Fletch.
This guy is a beast. Jalen looked happy to take this picture. You can tell.
I was going to say, gee whiz. Looks like you're twisting their arms.
Johnny, he's almost as big as you.
Yeah, right? Look at these guys. You barely come up to the shoulder pads.
Massive.
Well, you're a small fry as it is, but those guys, they're no hummingbirds.
Well, he's got a heck of a future, I'll tell you that. Oh,
Ball
no.
loose again. Walton picks it up, but he is greeted immediately. So on 3rd and short again, the offense can't get out of its own way, and it looks like Walton hobbling a little bit as he came out from underneath the huddle, or the pile, as I should say. And Shane Fairfield is hot. He's going to bring the punting unit on here because they are now backed up inside their own 30-yard line. Got to play smart here. I get it. It's a running clock, and I get it. You're down 35 points, but you don't want to gift the football right back that deep in your own territory against a talented Cass Tech offense. So it'll be Dominic Sugan in to punt it away. And Jameel Gardner back deep for the technicians. Got punt protect in. Cass Tech is bringing it. Sugan has to keep it himself. Somehow shimmies away. Delivers a beauty. And a perfect bounce.
Look at the roll, too.
Muskegon, tip your cap to the senior, Dominic Sugan. That had disaster written all over it. Instead, turns out to be one of the biggest plays of the night for the Big Reds.
Wow. Look at the pressure, the high snap, the pressure right up the middle. Sean Hodges back there. Not only the effort to avoid the rush, but to also get the kickoff.
How did he do it?
That, like you just said, that might have been one of the biggest plays, unfortunately, for the night. The night for Muskegon. That was impressive athleticism right there.
Well, a lot of times you see in high school, we don't really see it, at the next level. Is a lot of times you'll have your punters being some of your best skill position players, right? And you get opportunities like that. High snap. How do you improvise? A lot of times if you just have your punter or kicker back there, maybe they're unable to make that play. But a guy like Dominic Sugan, who they use all over the field, he was able to take it, play strong safety, flies around the football field. Last year, the second leading tackler. Heck, might get himself a punting scholarship for that type of effort.
More you can do, right?
That's it. Mumpfield on the bootleg over the outstretched arms of his intended target, Latrell White. So Cass Tech playing a pretty meaty schedule. They dispatched Southfield A&T in week 1. Right now they're cruising along here in week 2. Next week, that's going to be our game of the week at Detroit King. That's going to be a fabulous matchup. Then you see Renaissance, East English, on and on. So Cass Tech, again, they feel like they've got a good shot to be able to do what they did last year, and that is run the tables. But again, last year you get to the regional finals and you meet a team like Belleville, you better buckle that chin strap extra tight. Philpott Dixon with a little running room up near the 30-yard line. And that'll bring up 2nd and long.
And everybody knows they've got King coming up next week, right? That's no easy start to the schedule if you're Cass Tech, but just like we heard from Coach this week, talking about, trying to keep these guys humble. Just because we come off a big win last week against A&T, you can't get ahead of yourselves. You can't start reading the press clippings. You can't start getting too confident.
Mumpfield that time overthrew Gardner on the outside. Nice job downfield in coverage. And looks like, how about this? First time for everything. Muskegon defense has really played a lot better here in the second half. There's no question about that. They're going to force the first punt of the football game by Cass Tech.
Yeah, and you hate to say, too little, too late, but that's what coaches want to see. That's what Coach Fairfield wants to see, right? Make the adjustments. Don't go out there and hang your head and pout. You still got a whole lot of football left, guys. How you respond to situations like this when you're getting punched in the mouth on your home field against a really good team, how you respond to that can really guide how the rest of your season's going to go, right? And Coach hit it kind of this week, right, when he said it was a win-win. He knew it was going to be a tough game, but getting punched in the mouth sometimes early in the season, it's not like college football where one win can kill your entire season, right? You still got a lot of games left, and this could be a very valuable experience for a lot of these young players on this Muskegon team, not only this year, but a lot of these kids that are sophomores and juniors that have still 2-3 years left to play. They're going to remember this game for a long time, and when you have a game like this, I tell you what, the one thing you want to do is work harder to make sure that a situation like this doesn't happen again.
That Week 7 matchup at Muskegon Mona Shores. Mona Shores tonight playing in Detroit against King. I think King getting the better of that matchup here tonight from what I heard from the early reports. But again, Muskegon, you hit on it exactly, TJ. There is you don't want a false sense of who you are. And we use that expression, getting hit in the mouth. And if you've ever been hit in the mouth, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But can you take a punch, which they did. They took repeated punches in the first half. But then the season is long. When you face an opponent, a quality opponent like this in Week 2, you say, how are we going to respond? The season ain't over. Not even close. So how do we learn from it? And so far, we've seen some great adjustments being demonstrated by the Muskegon defense, and something they can hang their hat on and say, look, we were able to stand in there with these guys. Yeah, they got the better of us through the first 2 quarters of play. But right now, here in the third quarter, they are dead even. But they're fighting that running clock, and that's the biggest factor right now in this football game. Still down 35 points with 30 seconds remaining here in the third.
And you'll remember that, adversity pops up in every single football game. Maybe unless you're Cass Tech tonight, who's just playing extremely well, but they'll remember this maybe in a week from now, 2 weeks from now. Hey, we go down 7 points. We've got to make sure it doesn't roll to 14, to 21, to 28. We've got to make sure we make the plays. Those are all valuable lessons that these kids are definitely going to learn moving forward.
Walton back to pass, plenty of time. Now being flushed from the pocket. Now directing traffic. Dumps it off over the middle, and he got his man. That's a first down for Muskegon. Oh, they're going to wave it off. Incomplete pass. Ricky had it for just a second, but no dice. So that's the end of the third quarter. Muskegon down 5 touchdowns, but with possession. We'll bring you the fourth quarter here on Bally Sports right after this. You want to know what Muskegon football means to this community? It means everything's going to be all right. You put your worries aside here on a Friday. This is a happy place for a lot of these fans. You work your 9-to-5 job, get an opportunity to come out and watch these young men strap on the pads and come out and compete. And they are 6th nationally in all-time wins. This is a program steeped in tradition. See some of the other programs out there, Georgia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and here in the great state of Michigan, the Muskegon Big Reds. I can tell you, just coming into town here tonight, TJ, I had a chance to come up here as a light rain starting to fall here. I had been up here one time to do a story a couple years back, but not since they've renovated the field. And to actually be here on a Friday night football game, there is no greater environment in the state as far as I've seen.
Yeah, it's impressive. And Miles Walton even mentioned the magnitude of this matchup, saying that he thinks it's going to be what he can picture like a college-like atmosphere. And coming from a guy that played in the MAC for 4 years, it's pretty darn close. But this is definitely a special place. Coach hit on it this week. Fairfield talking about what high school football means to this city. And you look in the stands, and you can see a lot of older people that you could probably tell don't have kids out here playing, but they're supporting this football team, and they're supporting their community. And right now, in a 35-point game, just looking around,
nobody's left.
It doesn't seem like a lot of people have left, and I know that means a lot to these kids wearing the red jerseys tonight, the support that they get from the community.
And tremendous defensive pressure up front by Cass Tech. as Miles Walton had nowhere to go. And one of the men in on the tackle, Rashawn Randall, in for the technicians. That'll be a loss on the play. It's going to bring up 4th down, and Muskegon, again, looking like they're going to have to punt this football away. But you hit on it. It's a capacity crowd here. And again, this is the place to be here on a Friday night, and a much better effort. You know, they kept Cass Tech out of the end zone in the 3rd quarter. Have to punt the football away here, but want to finish this game the right way. Dominic Sugan, another heck of a boot. Back to Jameel Gardner. Gardner at the 30, makes the first man miss, and gets up to about the 38-yard line. That's where Cass Tech will take over with the football. There's Gardner a bit shaken up here. Again, Jameel Gardner had a heck of a game here for Cass Tech coming into tonight. Big first half, 3 grabs, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Medical staff will attend to his needs as he comes to his feet. We're going to take a short timeout. We'll be back right after this. Whoa. There's my partner. Look how good you look. We're talking a little bit about your playing career. 2-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, EMU. Stand up if you're in the house. Would you say you've cut weight? Have you gained weight since your Brother Rice days? Take a look at the top of your screen. Look at
a few pounds.
Yeah, a few pounds. So you gained weight from high school to college, then gained weight to the pros, and now you lost some weight. So you're trying to hide your profile with some paper taped up in the windshield.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. No, yeah, but I've only been retired for 2.5 years, so it's been a steady decline. Plateaued a couple times, but yeah, I put on a lot of weight. I mean, most of my weight, I was 250 in high school, and that was a reason why a lot of colleges didn't want to recruit me, because they thought I was kind of a tweener guy, too small to play offense. Didn't know if I was able to put on the weight, but I said, hey, don't you trust your strength coaches to put on the 20, 30 pounds? And Eastern Michigan was the only team to give me a shot, man. And I actually went to Eastern Michigan as a defensive end. I bet you didn't know that. I started my true freshman year. I was starter at defensive end, and then sophomore year got moved over to offense. So you can make of that what you will. Obviously, didn't work out on the defensive side for me, but
it turned into an NFL career. I think you'd take that, brother.
It turned out to be a solid move. But yeah, playing high school ball here in Michigan, obviously at another storied program, Brother Rice High School, for the legendary Alfred Casa. That's really, I think, when I fell in love with football for the first time.
Caleb Davis, the new quarterback for Cass Tech, able to make something out of nothing, gets out across the 40-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd and long. Yeah, one of your teammates, wasn't it one of your schoolmates, Brian Henry?
Yeah.
Our producer extraordinaire
Henry
at Brother Rice.
You talk about a guy that's lost some weight since high school. I barely recognized him.
Now, I wish we had a shot of Brian, but we don't.
He's
pushing the ones
man.
and twos.
Yeah. He's the engine behind this machine,
really
that's
is.
for sure. He's doing a nice job teeing up all the replays and the interviews. And he's on top of his game tonight.
We just follow his lead. Thanks, Brian. Caleb Davis, the senior backup quarterback in. Plenty of time. Throws a nice ball right at midfield, and that's going to move the chains for this Cass Tech offense. So LaShawn Mupfield's night is complete. Another 6 touchdown effort for him. And now Caleb Davis getting an opportunity. Take a look at 3-step drop.
Great footwork, too. Nice tight spiral.
Boom. In on the tackle for Muskegon. We've said his name a bunch tonight. That's B.J. Wright. He leads that defensive unit. Led the team in tackles last week. At Cass Tech sideline, all smiles right now with the performance they put on here on the road. Davis fakes the handoff, keeps it himself.
Wow.
Davis at the 40. Davis down to the 35-yard line, took a big shot. Dominic Sugan, number 5, in on the tackle, as was B.J. Wright.
Let's take a look at the block in here. Another counter play. Wow, you don't see that. Usually when the quarterback fakes the counter to the left. He bumps back to the right. Caleb Davis might have misread the backside defensive end, but you know what? He turned that into one heck of a play following the running back, who ended up becoming really a lead blocker. Doesn't hand the ball off to him, becomes a lead blocker. Nice game, Caleb Davis. I tell you what, this Cass Tech team, you see a lot of backups in there now on offense. They got weapons all over the place. They might be able to beat a whole lot of teams with this offense that we're seeing with no LaShawn Mumfield or other starters.
No question.
They're impressive. The depth that they have. You don't see that in high school a whole lot, especially at the quarterback position.
A couple of flags fly here. 6:42 remaining. The clock continues to run. That's going to be a false start on the offense. So we'll have to reset the clock now. That's the only time, or one of the only times, the clock will come to a stop on penalties, turnovers, change of possession. Again, this is the same score we had at halftime, so Muskegon's defense will be proud of the way it bowed up and played here in the second half, but they want to continue to pitch a second half shutout if they can against this talented Cass Tech offense. And number 22 back in there again, Jason Philpott Dixon. He's been carrying the brunt of the load here in the second half. First half, we saw a lot of Shamar Snow and Kareem Sharif, but to your point, TJ, talking about the depth that these technicians have. They've got good players, and not just upperclassmen, but some good younger players as well.
Yeah, every year they just seem to take a step forward, which is impressive. Goes back to just the type of talent and the coaching that Cass Tech has, being able to compete and be competitive every single year, no matter how many seniors move on, how many freshmen, sophomores you have to play. These guys know that the expectations are high over there at Cass Tech, and they're sure holding their end of the bargain up.
Davis with a perfect pass down to the 5-yard line. John McIntosh Jr.
out of bounds.
They're going to say he was out of bounds. It was McIntosh who had his foot in at the end of the first half. We're going to take another look at this because from our vantage point, looked like Johnny Mack was able to get it in.
Oh, watch the feet, ball, foot. Oh, man, that's a great. Did the ball come loose?
No, it looks like.
Let's see, left foot,
right there.
Right foot,
no,
left
foot
knee
down.
Again. Unless the referee saw the ball come loose.
He has the football. I think he gets his right foot down.
It looked like right when he caught it, left foot was down, and then maybe right knee, right shin hit second.
It could have been, yeah. He might have. Upper body might have touched out of bounds before he was able to get the foot in. So he was the beneficiary of the call at the end of the first half, but not that time. But a great job by the Muskegon defense on 3rd and 6. B.J. Wright, number 24, number 5, Dominic Sugan also in on the stop, and a nice job to get the sack on the quarterback, Caleb Davis.
Yeah, big-time play. Unfortunately, it comes with 4 minutes left, but Dominic Sugan is a guy that Coach Fairfield really loved talking about this week, just talking about the attitude that he brings to the defense, playing that sort of strong safety, outside linebacker. They call it, I think, the animal position in their defense. Where you could see him either playing deep, covering receivers. You could see him playing in the box that time, just coming off the edge, along with B.J. Wright, making a really, really nice tackle. I know the game's not going the way they planned, but to see these kids compete all the way to the end and finish plays, finish drives, has to definitely be encouraging for Coach Fairfield and Muskegon Big Reds.
Pierce Clark back to punt it away. The deep man, Destin Piggy for Muskegon, but terrific bounce for Cass Tech. Looked like it wasn't all that great of a punt when it initially left the foot. And now, Cass Tech, they go into the end zone. I don't see any official. And no, the far official puts his hands up for a touchdown.
Destin.
I don't know that Piggy had touched the football down inside the 5-yard line. And number 80 for Cass Tech comes in. Cassius Shivers, the freshman on special teams. We got to have another look at this, TJ.
That was confusing. Destin Piggy definitely came up and touched it late. Did it hit a Cass Tech player first? I don't think it did. Watch, you see number 3 just kind of come out of nowhere, and
he tries to down it.
Wow. I don't
Piggy
know.
thought he would come in and down it.
I thought he might have gotten confused if he was on the punt team or the punt return team there.
Wow.
So you see Coach Fairfield kind of taking him off to the side and teach him a little bit. You don't see a play like that a whole lot.
And how about that? Muskegon defense had played so well here in the second half, and then a miscue on special teams. It is now 49-7 in favor of Cass Tech. When we come back, Brooke Fletcher with an inspiring story on this young man, a story of perseverance right after this.
Welcome back. Former Muskegon's defensive end Demetrius Walker's football career came to a screeching halt last October when he was diagnosed with a rare bone cancer called osteosarcoma, which targeted his left femur just above the knee. But last Saturday, after 8 months of treatment, Michi completed his final round of chemo at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. Now, prior to his diagnosis, Michi had fielded several Power 5 offers to take his talent to the next level. And, listen, he wishes he could be out there with his teammates, but they wanted to honor their brother in a big way by wearing a pair of custom cleats saying "Ball for Meech." But what's even cooler about this story, you guys, is that the cleats are customized by Muskegon alumni Armone Tyson. Now, not only does he customize for the Big Reds, but also notable NFL players like Cam Newton, Tom Brady, and J.J. Watt. But listen, I spent some time with Michi this past week, and let me tell you, this kid is special. He is a light, and just with his smile and his optimism, it was hard not to root for this guy. I just wanted to talk to him even more.
That's a terrific story, Brooke, and I appreciate you sharing it. I know we had talked a little bit after you had spoken to him, and you said, you got to meet this guy. You got to meet this young man. And there are certain people when you come across in life, and the other day I was working a Tiger game, and I met a young man from Chippewa Valley, and he also diagnosed with osteosarcoma and was facing a surgery that may have had to amputate his leg. But to see these young men at 17, 18 years old being faced with that type of life-changing adversity, and then to be inspired as you were with talking with Demetrius is pretty special.
Well, I can't say anything.
Yeah, I know.
You just said better than that, Johnny.
Yeah,
Brooke,
Johnny, Michi was actually here earlier tonight. Just because he can't play, that doesn't mean he doesn't want to stay involved with this team. He actually tried to get into coaching. He said, you can call me Coach Meech. So hopefully one day he can be like Coach Fairfield and maybe coach the Big Reds one day.
Would that be something? It'd be a heck of a program to stay involved with. Well, maybe next time around we get back here to Muskegon, we'll see. We'll try to get him on here, get him up in the booth, see if he can handle it.
An inspirational young man right there. That story just gives me chills. That video of him walking out and
ringing the bell.
Cancer struck a lot of families, obviously. Like you said, 16, 17-year-old kid having to face a diagnosis like that can be life-altering, but the perseverance that he's showed to overcome that and still stick around this football team. I know Coach Fairfield obviously got pretty emotional talking about him this week. The big Meech, man, that kid is kid's an inspiration to a lot of people. There's no doubt about that.
And Muskegon hand the football off. Look out, Jacob Price.
See you, buddy.
With room. Price one man to beat. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Muskegon. The talented sophomore speedster got into that next level, turned on the afterburners, and he was gone.
Little dive option here. They call it the triple option out of the ski gun. First time we've seen it. Oh, what a great block up front. Big 78. Got to give the big guy, Carl Brooks, 6'3", 290, sophomore, some love on that one. We saw that a lot last week with Jacob Price hitting those quick hitters right down the field. Haven't had much success with it today, obviously facing a bigger Cass Tech defense, but that's a heck of a run right there. Jacob Price is a good kid. I think I had written down in my notes, once he gets to that second level, he's not getting caught.
Yeah,
and
no
he
question.
just showed that again this week. Big-time touchdown run.
He's just a sophomore, too. Good first step.
And just a breakaway speed. Nobody's catching him.
Terrific. Even the official had to get out of his way, huh? Running downhill was the sophomore sensation, Jacob Price. And I'll tell you what, these Muskegon fans that have stuck around, and plenty of them have, that gave them something to cheer about. Now 49-14. This game may be out of hand, but the effort's still there. Only 2 touchdowns scored combined here in the second half. Coach Fairfield back to coaching. Talking to Julian Neely, his junior.
And that's why the kids love Coach Fairfield so much. You see him come off, obviously, the best drive of the night, punching it in with a long touchdown run. And he's still over there on the sideline, arm around his players, coaching them up, teaching them how to make a good play better. The fact that this Muskegon team has shown no quit in their effort, that shines a light directly on the coaching staff, what kind of players they have, right? Shows you a lot about your identity and what kind of characteristics. This is only week 2. They might not even have an identity as a team yet, but something they can hang their hat on moving forward, exactly what we hit on earlier. When you get in those tough situations, you got to have no quit on your football team, and that's something that we've definitely seen tonight from this Big Red squad. You got to give it to the coaching staff. You got to give them props.
As I say, you may not win the war, you may not win this football game. You can win your individual battles. You know, it's football. You don't want to overthink things.
Right.
But you want to let your opponent know, even if they got the better of you, you're here to stay. You're not going to be intimidated by it. You know, we're going to be around here. We're going to be here to stay. We're going to answer the bell. And, you know, on a night like tonight, you got to give a ton of credit, clearly, to Coach Rushing in this Cass Tech offense. But it'll be interesting to see how both of these programs respond moving forward, because we talk about that King-Cass Tech matchup coming up next week. King, remember, lost on a Hail Mary in week 1, but they beat Mona Shores tonight 40-19. So next week, we'll see. You know, how good is Cass Tech against the Detroit King team, and how good is Muskegon going to be with the rest of its schedule, you know, playing in the OK Conference Black. So 2 good football teams. A lot of people might look at this box score and say, oh, didn't seem to be much of a game, was it? But there were some good things both these teams can take. As we are inside 30 seconds to play in this football game, and that likely will be the final play of the football game. And I'll say one other thing, TJ, is we see great sportsmanship. We hear it a lot where coaches will say, hey, they're a well-coached team, or we respect their program. But a ton of athletes on both sides. But tonight we didn't see any extracurriculars.
Right.
This was 2 football teams. You can see Muskegon already heading out to the end there at midfield, coming out to lead the handshake line. So great sportsmanship on both sides of it. It is time now for our Menards Big Money Moments. And it was number 16 in white. We knew how good of a week 1 he had against Southfield A&T, and he picked it up here tonight. First, Kamari Anderson, his tight end. Then on the outside. And then on the outside again. How about 5 touchdowns for LaShawn Mumpfield? It's a fabulous effort. And as you coined it, the Hackley Leap. Of course, Muskegon fans would like to see their own players doing that from here on out. But a great play to end the first half. John McIntosh on the receiving end of that one, as both teams exchanged pleasantries here at the end of this one.
Incredible effort. I mean, Muskegon just did not have an answer tonight for LaShawn Mumpfield. The kid was just dynamic. Picked up a couple really big key third down conversions with his legs. Was very poised and disciplined, right, and not trying to force the ball where it shouldn't go, right? Didn't force a lot of passes into double coverage or guys that were tightly covered. Took what Muskegon ultimately gave him, and really when it came down to it, when they called his number and said, you know what, we're going to take a shot, he made Muskegon defense pay big time. In that first half, I mean, 11 touchdowns so far through 2 games. It's just video game numbers, right? Well, it's just incredible. And he's played 2 really, really good, solid teams, too. These aren't coming against weak opponents. I mean, these are coming from highly respected, against very good programs. I think, man, this kid's definitely got a bright future.
Lee Mumpfield He was in charge of all our Menards Big Money moments here tonight. He is standing by with our Brooke Fletcher. Take it away, Fletch.
Well, Sean, a lot of anticipation surrounding this game tonight. One of the most notable programs in the state of Michigan. How are you feeling after a win like this?
I mean, you can't feel nothing but good. We as a team, we believe in each other. We're brothers. We come to practice every day. We come together. We know what we got to do, and we trust in each other. So.
Well, you had a great game. 5 touchdown passes, 200 passing yards. You realize you've had 11 touchdown passes in your first 2 games this season. What's been working well for you?
Everything, for real. Going to practice every day, learning, new schemes, how defense plays, believing in what I can do. All summer I've been training, since last season. We ended in January. So ever since then I've been training, believing in myself, believing in my teammates, and it goes right.
A point of emphasis going into this game was the line of scrimmage. How good were those big guys up front here tonight on both sides of the ball?
I love them. After every game, I go to them and say thank you for keeping me protected. I can't do anything without them, so I love them.
All right, well, you just took down one notable program here in Michigan, but next week you guys are facing King. We know how big of a rivalry game this is. How much confidence does this win give you going into that game next week?
A lot of confidence. A big team like this, and we beat them this bad, it gives us a lot of momentum going into the week. So we're going to practice. We're going to work hard. We're going to believe in each other just like we did today. So I'm fired up for it.
All right, congratulations. We'll see you next week. Johnny, back to you.
Hey, if he's fired up for it, Coach Russian's fired up for it, I'm fired up, TJ's fired up, Fletch is fired up. What a great Friday night of football action here. It's going to do it for our coverage from Hackley Stadium tonight. Cass Tech, far superior tonight, 49-14 over Muskegon. Join us next week. We'll head into the city of Detroit for Martin Luther King and these same technicians of Cass Tech. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. For Brooke Fletcher, TJ Lang, our producer, Brian Henry, I'm Johnny Kane saying so long from the shores of Lake Michigan. Have a great night, everybody.